It is episode Carcass. Damn it. 113. Episode 113 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass, John.
and also
Also,
Scooter Waters.
Mickey Rat.
Mickey Rat.
I still think sparkling is the best, but whatever.
I like not Roger. I like not Roger.
So we need to do some unfortunate business real quick, and I'm going to be very, very fast about this, and then we'll get into our typical shout outs and week updates and whatever we do, and then we'll get into the topic today, which is RATT. And we'll talk about the band, and then specifically we're going to rank the albums in a kind of an unofficial way. We're going to just do our favorites, front to back. But we have some unfortunate news that we want to share with you guys. So, as you know, our producer, the great Monkey Butt, who had us in studio for a good long while over in Frisco, Texas at the KVGI studios, met up with him, and he's been producing the show. In fact, he's producing right now from Michigan. And we love him and we appreciate him. But he has received some unfortunate health news, and he is going to be battling cancer. I will let him tell what he wants to tell. We're going to bring him on in just a minute, but we wanted you guys to know if you see things change around here over the next few weeks and months. We want you to send your thoughts, your vibes, your prayers, your lit candles, your incantations, whatever, to Monkey Butt, because he is about to start a serious battle, and we're going to try our best to keep it positive for him and take care of him. And we ask that you would do the same, and just be patient with us if you see bumps in the road. He's a producer. I am not, as evidenced by our show last week. We had a few bumps in the road with my dumb ass trying to get us along, but we made it. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring on the greatness of the Monkey Butt. Monkey Butt, how are you, dude?
I'm pretty good. Sometimes I'm a little fatigued, and my mind moves faster than the body. You know, the opposite when you're in your 20s, where your body moves so fast, your mind's not thinking quick enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I caught up with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I try to stay busy, but my mind's racing and my body just can't go. But yeah, like Rob said, I've got stage 3 esophageal cancer, and it's adenocarcinoma. There's a couple of different types of cancer. This one specifically comes from, believe it or not, maybe some of you guys might be shocked, but it comes from acid reflux. And I didn't know I had it. I did have it 20 something years ago, and I did get it taken care of, took some medicine for a while, but nowhere did I expect that I was going to take the medicine for the rest of my life, because it didn't have any symptoms. And but apparently right at the diaphragm, before it goes into the stomach, acid just sat there, and then finally it turns into cancer. And so I've got to go through chemo, got to go through radiation. I'm going to get a med port put on the right side so that all the pokings won't make me look like a drug addict, and won't pop my veins, and plus all the burning sensation that's causing it. It's going to be kind of interesting because the port, it goes under the skin, but it's I was intrigued when I talked to the doctor the other day, because it's kind of like a Star Trek emblem, but it's on the inside of your skin. So I was like, beam me up, Scotty. They just put a special needle, and it's got a hole like a metal housing, and they can't go through it. It just punches in, and then it goes straight up the artery. So I got to have that done, and it'll be anywhere from right now 5 weeks minimum to 10 weeks of radiation, and then once a week chemo, 3-hour tour. So my days are going to be on the days that I got to do chemo and radiation. My day is pretty much shot. Get up in the morning, get stressed out, frustrated, all that jazz, then go do the 2 things. And yeah, it kind of sucks, but once it's all done, supposedly go have a surgery, and they'll remove part of the esophagus. That's the probably going to be, outside of the chemo, the hardest part is the recovery from that. And
Right.
and I'll probably have a feeding tube put in, because after that I pretty much won't be able to eat and swallow. So it'll depends on how long it's going to be. But yeah, so if you guys got acid reflux out there, it can turn into cancer. I was totally shocked when I found out. I'm still shocked today. I've had a wheezing noise for a couple of months, and every once in a while I get out of breath, and then I notice my I get tired a lot more often, even just going like up and down the stairs once or twice, and then I come upstairs, I'm breathing hard, and then I had this cough, and I thought I was like allergic to cheese. That's just because every time I'd eat cheese, I would start coughing. So went to the doctor for it, and it turns out after doing an upper GI that I had 3 biopsies and had cancer. So it is one of the better ones to have. If there's any better cancer, there's really not. But if it's the cancer to have out of the esophagus, it's the one to have. The other one is sarcoma, and it's pretty bad. It usually goes straight to your lungs, your kidneys, and your bones, your brain. And it's people that smoke, tobacco, and things like that. Where the adeno is another known one, and it's typically comes from some kind of reflux. But I have a great stomach. There's no linings in there, so it's actually turned out pretty good. But I've got some more tests to do to find out where the tumors are. So it's going to make life a little hectic, especially the radiation part of it. I've got to drive an hour drive to get there, and then the procedure is faster than my drive, so it's like a 15-minute. So I'll drive an hour there, 15 minutes, drive an hour back. And then the day that I do chemo is 3 hours minimum. And then a lot of testing in between. So depending on how you think about it, they say that esophageal cancer is a death sentence, but it depends on if you're looking at the generic version of it or if you're trying to figure out what the cancer is. There's 8 or 9 different versions of it. And this, like I said, this is one of the lighter versions. But they put me to 60-40 just for the fact that they don't know what they don't know until we really get in there and start doing the chemo and all. I do have some tumors on the outside of it, so that's what put me at stage 3. Fortunately, it has that we know of until next week when I do a big test. It's not in my lungs, or it's not in my kidneys or bladder or anything like that. So, but we don't know if it's gotten how far outside the esophagus, and that's where it gets worse.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate you guys letting me come on. I really haven't told a whole lot of people. I haven't made this public, so this is actually the first public that I've made. But I'll tell you, as some people may be thinking detrimental, or they may have some really sad thoughts, it really is. Your mind's one day you want to go through it, and the next day you're saying, screw it, I don't want to do it. And so you're wishy-washy. But I'm using this as a positive. I'm not taking the 60-40 that they're telling me I'm going to as a survival rate in this. I'm going for 150%. I'm 55 years old. The average is 67 when they find out that they have this. So not that I caught it early. It just started in my body a lot earlier. And some people can go almost all their lives and the acid reflux never turns into cancer. So with that being said, the life moving forward, I might not be able to do the metal round table on Tuesdays, depending on what my schedule is. And I won't know for a few more weeks. So Rob's got it set up to do the show and the production on this. And I understand that he might not have been as good, but he will learn. It's like what I told him when they first did their shows. It takes 5 shows to get acclimated. Well, sorry, Rob, it takes 10 this time.
Yeah.
So you got 9 more to go before you'll finally get the rhythm. So
yeah, I think it was probably a little spastic last week with stuff moving around and all of that. But hey, man, we love you. We thank you so much for your support of the show over, gosh, what's it been? 3 years now? I mean, it's been a while.
3 years and getting with me we got probably, I don't know, 12 to 15 more shows to make it 100 shows with me. Because I think we started at 36 or 33.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 30s. So yeah. But I appreciate you guys coming on and letting me talk and everything. I really do. And I will be around as much as I can be around, and I'll obviously be around to support, but I may not have a voice. So
Right.
Well, it's not just us, Mark. It's some of our listeners are chiming in and wishing you well, and we second that and multiply it by a million, sending positive thoughts your way. Because believe me, I think we all know somebody that has been affected by cancer, and sometimes it turns out right, and sometimes it doesn't. But we're gonna just play like it's turning out right, just like you suggested, and we'll stay positive about it with you, and we're there every step of the way.
I appreciate that. I do.
Everything I've heard about cancer is if you have a positive attitude, it ups your chances quite a bit.
Yep.
It's the two things that I've been told. It's determination, which is the attitude, and eating. And so therefore I'm maybe putting a feeding tube in just in case I can't swallow food or I need to have food forced in there. Because they said a lot of people in their 60s and 70s, when they have this, they die because they're dehydrated and don't eat and don't have enough nutrients, and then their kidneys and everything starts shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could end this on a positive note, I will say that when you get something like this diagnosed, you have no clue where you're going. And some people can break down right then and there. And some people like me, the first day at the doctor, when she told me, I just rolled down my sleeve, gave her my arm. She's like, "What's that?" And I go, "Start poking me. Let's go." I was ready to get going. Don't need to talk about it anymore. You said I have it. Give me the regimen and let's get going. I understand it's mostly chemo and radiation. So let's go. Okay. I'm ready to take the medicine and get going. But I've teared up a few times, but I'll give the last appreciation to a very good military friend of mine. And he works for the federal government right now for Homeland Security or ICE, more or less. He sent me a gift from and I haven't even looked up the company. In fact, I'm going to do that this evening sometime. But it's #RockTheTreatment, and it's a gift box that's 6 to 8 inches tall and about 15 by 15, and there's like 70, 80 items in there, from coloring books to a hat that says "Rock the Treatment" to gloves to everything a cancer patient would need. And you can get different versions for different people. He got one that's kind of for guys and not kids, and the non-military version of it. But I would say that broke me down. Really good friend of mine, and very appreciative that even something like that's out there. So there's a good note for that. There are good things to happen.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Well, we're gonna be here, man, and I don't think we'll be beaming you up anytime soon, brother.
Well, I might come on one day and I might go, damn.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might beam yourself up. Huh?
It's not working.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the rest of your show, and I'll be producing it back behind you.
Awesome. Thank you, brother, for coming on.
Metal rules.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. All right. Well, sorry to start the show heavy, but we thought it was important to get Monkey Butt on and talk about that for a minute. We've known for a little while, and we wanted to be sure that Mark was comfortable, sharing what news that he wanted, and we didn't want to betray his privacy in any way. And so going forward, we will update you, with what he wants people to know. So anyway, much love to the Monkey Butt. So let's put a tiny little pin in that, and let's get the show rolling. You boys got shout outs?
Sure.
Do it, Scott.
I got it. I've been in like King's X world for the last few weeks, but new Doug Pinnock came in, and it's really good. I enjoy it anyhow. Joy Bomb, I believe it's called. I pre-ordered it, so I got that little. It's supposed to be an autographed cover, but they gave us a little autographed album flat instead. Whatever. And then I finally got the Super Shine. And this is coming out as remastered by our very own Rob Caldwell, and it sounds great. I don't know. There's at least 5 huge King's X boards on Facebook, and I've heard nothing but praise so far. I've not seen anybody yet complain. I'm sure somebody will, because somebody always has to, but so far I've seen nothing but nothing but compliments on that one, on all of them. So, and then the Tight Tabor, Moonflower Lane. Both of those are coming out on vinyl, which I'm super excited about as well. And the Tapehead, the Gold Disc Edition, Mr. Bulbous Gold Edition, and Manic Moonlight.
Yep.
All of which were remastered by Rob.
Those were fun to work on.
Man, they're
on those. I still can't believe I got to do them. That's awesome that Matt got that squared away on the licensing end, and you did a kick-ass job as always on the artwork. But I do notice that I don't have my copies yet. I'm just saying. So somebody is getting preferential treatment, and it's not me.
Yeah, it's only because I'm always constantly on his case about it.
Oh, I'm sure it'll show up soon. They always do. But yeah, those are awesome. What about you, Carcass?
You know, I really don't have a shout out per se. It'd been a while since I'd seen our friend Alberto Rodriguez, who is probably the greatest vintage stereo restoration person I've ever known. And I did see him this week, and we bandied about a few fun facts about Pioneer Power and some other stuff. Marantz, you know, my dream is to have that. There's a certain series of Marantz amplifier that I've always wanted, and so maybe one day. But man, they're hard to come by. But you know, shout out to him. He had a little bump in the road health wise too, and was in the hospital for a long time and recovered, and is grateful to still be here. So all those things, you know, that thing with health, when it kicks you in the teeth and you have some time to reflect, you know, it makes you glad to be still around. So we had a fun time listening to records for a long lunch break one day. So a shout out to him, and for all of those who don't go completely digital, because analog still rules in my opinion. But I don't know. It like I said, it's cool that we are able to do this. It's cool that people listen to us, and this is kind of what makes it worth it to keep on fighting the good fight, I guess. Not to be waxing too philosophic, but I don't know. That's it. So shout out to Alberto.
Yeah.
And hey, if anybody out there needs quality vintage sound equipment, please hit me up, and I will see what I can do to take care of you. I've got some stuff for sale, and he's got tons of stuff for sale. And
oh, it's like a museum in that place.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
Awesome.
all I have.
Well, I'll be very quick. I'll do a shout out to somebody that there's no way that we're on their radar or they are watching. That's REO Speedwagon. I went and saw them last night at the Texas Trust Credit Union Theater in Grand Prairie, and they were awesome. And I got a little bit of swag. My sweetie got a T-shirt. I got shelf sitters for my little display cases that Scott has seen. They're doing the 40th anniversary of High Infidelity, and I always like little stuff.
What? That's been 40 years ago?
Yes, sir.
40?
40.
Jiminy Christmas.
And then I got a nice, the wife got the best thing. She got a cool, one of the baseball jerseys, and I've got a nice, oh, wow, the show suddenly got better.
Yeah, it surely did. Holy cow.
So I've got the bandana, and it'll probably go on the ceiling with some of the
Other
Maiden
bandanas?
and Priest and whatever other crap I've got hung up there. Def Leppard and Poison, and I don't know. Anyway, they were great. They sounded great. They did a ton of songs. They played for 2 hours and focused a lot of that on, well, they played most all of the High Infidelity albums. So anyway, that was great, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I went, but it was on a Monday night, and I'm an old man, so I'm dragging ass today.
So let me ask you, how was the attendance just for...
Oh, man, it was great.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, I think the place was probably, I don't know, 85, 90% packed. Now, they did not have the upper balcony open, but I don't think I've ever seen that open. There were several thousand. It was great.
Yeah, I've seen that open for, I think I saw Dream Theater there about 8 or 9 years ago, and that was open.
Yeah,
Alice in Chains there, and it was open.
The 100, 200, and 300 sections were
Yeah.
all packed, except for the extreme corners.
Yeah, that's a great venue. There's really not a bad seat as far as sound goes. I mean, you're viewing,
Yeah.
obviously your angle changes, but sometimes they just get it right in a venue, and that's one of them.
Yeah. And we sat right next to the soundboard, literally leaned up against the wall where the light guy and the sound guy were. And man, it was great. I
Yeah.
put a video of Don't Let Him Go up on my personal YouTube page. But
Right on.
anyway, well, let's get into it, boys. We are talking about all things RATT today. This will probably be a fairly short topic, but we'll probably still go our normal hour because of how we started. But I want to just talk about the fact that we're going to kind of go through the orders and we're going to rank them. And we're not trying to say this is necessarily better than that. And we're not going to get into a big debate about it, but we're just going to talk about, least favorite to most favorite. At least that's how I looked at it. But RATT was my first concert. I saw RATT with Poison opening in late 86 on the Dancing Undercover tour when I was 16. So that was my very first show. I was a bit of a late bloomer on concerts, didn't see anything to speak of before the age of 16. So, yeah, that was it at the Tarrant County Convention Center over in Fort Worth. And so what are your RATT experiences, boys?
I discovered them on this.
I didn't pull that. Dang it.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first. I bought this thing when it was new. It was what, 1982, 83, somewhere in that area.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it was. I mean, this has got some great stuff on it. A lot of these bands really took off.
Mine's right up there somewhere.
Yeah, Steeler with Cold Day in Hell on this thing. Of course, Steeler was Yngwie Malmsteen and Ron Keel, both of whom saw some success. Bitch, Malice, RATT, Tell the World, which is a different version of the one that ended up on the album. Actually has a different drummer on it as well, Kurt Meyer, who I didn't even snap to that until I was looking at this thing today, and I realized, oh look, a different drummer. But yeah, I mean, this also has Metallica on it, Mettallicica, Metallica with the big old typo on it, with Hit the Lights, Malice, Human Flight, and of course the mighty Cirith Ungol. So I mean, back in the day, these Metal Massacre records, I was discovering tons of music because of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I discovered RATT. To me, it was RATT I mean, these days people call them glam metal, hair metal, and everything else, but to me, they were just metal. I mean, they took they kind of combined the 70s Aerosmith sound, especially in the raspy Steven Tyler like vocals, but in the songwriting as well. But they combined it with that 80s, late 70s and 80s Van Halen vibe with the guitars and a whole helping of Judas Priest style guitar riffs. And combine it to make their own sound. That's why I've always seen RATT.
I like it. I'm just going to jump in with what's on the bottom of my stack. And I've got these in the order of how I like them. And the thing for me is I'm a pretty big RATT fan. The only one I don't have is Collage. And I've got a stack of a couple hundred that I need to file. And I know Collage is up there, but I revisited that today. And so for me, I keep looking to see if I can. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yes.
There it is.
So Collage would be on the bottom of my stack, but it's by no means bad. It's different. It was in 97. Grunge was king, and you can really tell that in the guitars. But
yeah, exactly.
And then we recorded some songs from the early days, like Dr. Rock and something. What is it called? Rat Action or something? I can't.
RATT Madness.
RATT Madness.
Yep.
Some early stuff, and it's good. It's just, to me, it would be on the bottom of my list as far as RATT that I'm spinning. Again, not to slam on it, but what do you think about that one, Scott?
I agree. It's actually got stuff in there that they recorded or that they wrote back in the 70s and the early 80s. I think it's held back by the production, which obviously has I don't know, it just doesn't have that overdriven guitar sound like Invasion of Your Privacy and that kind of thing. It's just got a crappy sound. It's got that 90s vibe to it, which is unfortunate because you can tell the songs weren't written for that, which is why I think it kind of fails due to that aspect. But I mean, they basically recorded this thing because they got back together on a reunion. They were going out and touring, and they needed something to tour on back when bands used to actually tour on records. So that's what this was for. But yeah, it's not bad. It's just not. I listened to it today too when you said the RATT was going to be. It's just because I hadn't heard it in a decade or more.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's not bad, but yeah, it definitely lacks anything. It doesn't have any bite to it.
If you dressed that thing up and drenched it in reverb, it would sound a lot more like a RATT album. Because like you said, I think the songs are there, especially because they're early RATT songs. But if it had Bohill production on it with the, the highs and the reverb and all that kind of stuff like he did on some of their other things, it would sound more like a RATT album to me. But watch this. What do you think about it, Carcass?
Well, I'm surprised you asked. I've never heard of Collage, never seen it before. In fact, as I dug through my collection, and I have a fairly substantial collection of rock and metal. This was all I could find, just 2 tapes.
That what you call it, fairly substantial?
Yeah. But I had seen RATT.
Understatement of the year.
Because I'm so old. I actually saw RATT in a club, and I want to say it was Ricky Rackman's Cat House, the same place that I saw Guns N' Roses before they were signed, and LA Guns, and those types of bands. And I thought they were awesome. There was that penchant for following the leader, and Motley Crue definitely set the pace with their very glam look. I never thought RATT was very glammy, though. I just thought they were, like Scott says, like a good solid rock and roll band with a little heavier riffing, and they did play off the the Aerosmith Steven Tyler thing with the bandanas and the dressed up microphone stand and all that. But I always thought they were really solid. Warren DeMartini, I thought was in fact, someone mentioned that he was underrated. Grego did, and that's very true. I thought that guy was phenomenal, and Robin Crosby was no slouch either. And as a team, I thought they were every bit as deadly as the Glimmer Twins or Holt and Hunolt or any of those guys. I mean, they were killer, and they had a good vibe. And then when Bobby Blotzer joined them, I liked the rhythm section. I mean, Juan Crocher and Bobby Blotzer. I mean, those guys were that was a heavy. That's the way to. I mean, all you had to do is look at Bobby's set, and you're like, okay, this is going to be heavy. It was not a small little, and he didn't hit. He hit hard, and so I don't know. I can't speak to some of the. I listened to and had some of the other albums after the first, the EP and the Invasion and Out of the Cellar, but to me, those. I kind of stopped right there as far as what I had. I mean, obviously, it's the only 2 I have, and it's on cassette. But I don't know. You can ask me.
You like a lot heavier stuff too, so that's.
I like it, but you know what? All this is foundational, man. If it's good, it's good. I'm really not stuck in one genre as much as I'd love to, blather on about Nasm or Cryptic Void or War Master or Immortal or Tomb Mold or whatever. Man, if it's good, man, I'm all over it. And the one thing about RATT is they were actually a little more unique than, there were just so many bands churning out the whole bandana and eyeliner thing. But these guys had something different. It just, I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe you guys can explain it to me, but I just liked them. They just had a different. It was a musical vibe. It was they were more of a technical band. They could actually play. It wasn't about, well, hey, let's put some eyeliner on and a bandana, and maybe we can pull some chicks, at our next show. It wasn't necessarily about pulling chicks. It was about playing good music. So I don't know.
It was about pulling chicks too.
Yeah,
I don't think we can say that word anymore either.
No,
by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I'd like to retract that. I can't say.
Please. I don't want to offend anybody at all.
I think they were harvesting chickens. Yes.
Well, Donnell they were harvesting chickens, all right. Donnell Blair said they had groove, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe they had a groove.
And it was a little bit of an edge, a little more of a bite, a little sleazier maybe. But the next one up on my stack. All right, Scott, you ready? We're going to draw on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, interesting. So my take on this record, this came out in '99. I was getting back into some stuff that I'd missed after I had a bit of a dark period. We won't talk about that right now.
So who's in the band at that point?
Well, it's still Warren. It's Robbie Crane on bass. It's Steven, obviously, and then Bobby drumming.
Okay.
So they're a 4-piece here, at least for the recording. I think they toured as a 5-piece. But anyway, this came out in '99. I like this record quite a bit, actually. Over the Edge is great. Live for Today is great. Gave Up, Given Up. I mean, this is a good record, but I think it largely got overlooked. Dead Reckoning, Lovesick, So Good, So Fine. Man, there's some great tracks on this, but I find myself reaching for a lot of other RATT albums, but this one's got a special place for me. This was right in the middle of my studio recording days, and I like this album a lot, and I hate that it's that far down on my stack because it's a good record. And the next time you're in a store, if you see this, I highly recommend picking it up. A lot of people said, oh, it doesn't sound like a RATT album. It's got plenty of RATT songs on it as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, I file it with Skid Row's Subhuman Race. It was the band trying to reinvent themselves when heavy metal was a dirty word. You know what I mean? It's
well, wait a minute. Time out.
Yep.
If that record is as good as Subhuman Race, then I'm looking for it. I'm going to buy it because Subhuman Race was killer.
It was definitely them trying to update their sound and be more modern, but not so much where they forsook their own sound. So it still sounds like RATT, but it's definitely a more updated sound. I haven't actually heard it in a while. I had to actually look up my own review from back in the day, and that's basically what I said about it back then. Actually, I can read. They got a bit more modern, although not so much to forsake their own trademark sound. Still present are the gritty vocals of Piercy, the guitar wails of Warren D. Martini, and the pounding drum attack of Bobby Blotzer. However, the overall production and sound is much less polished and poppy sounding, more on the level of street level rock like Skid Row's Subhuman Race. And I wrote that back in 1999. So,
yeah. All right. Well, let's draw the next one. You ready? So this is the next. So we've still got several albums to go here, but all right, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Boom.
Here we're not gonna. Nope, not even close.
Here.
My next. I mean, I don't know. This is the one I pulled, but.
Oh man.
Is that Detonator?
I love Detonator. So
actually, I actually like that one.
When
I like Detonator too, but it's just.
I remember when this came out. I remember when the EP came out, and I'll talk about this one, and you can talk about that one. And I thought it was good. It's got Sweet Cheater on it, which is still a concert favorite. You Think You're Tough. I remember hearing those on the radio. I think it's good. I think it's solid. In fact, Scott talked me into it right before the show. I moved it up a couple of places, but it just never clicked with me. It's obviously quintessential RATT, and I hate that I don't like it more than I do. It doesn't make any sense. I know I'm an idiot.
No, I don't really include it because it's like a demo to me. But that's just me.
But it wasn't a demo. They signed with
sure.
Time East or East Time or whatever it was, Records. And
Time Coast, yeah.
Time Coast, yeah, was their first album. It was their first EP. Was 5 songs. They had 4 original tracks on there, all of which I think are prime RATT songs. One of which became a hit. Yeah. One of which was re-recorded for another record down the road. And then, of course, the Rufus Thomas track, "Walking the Dog," which Aerosmith made, popular. And then RATT's version is 100%, Aerosmith worship. So
yeah, I just don't play it that much. I think it's great. It's well done. I don't reach for it much. So
it's literally the first one I reach for when I want to hear RATT.
So next up next up on my list, and I know this is kind of confusing because we're showing different albums in different order, but I'll defend mine as I go along.
Yeah, I thought that was an okay record. Well, and sorry to be so rat foolish here, but how many albums have they actually put out?
Like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't miss the boat by that many.
Yeah, 8 or 9, something like that.
So yeah, it's there's nothing wrong with that album at all. There's a lot of there's a couple hits on that album. I think Bew Hill was just, and a lot of bands at the time were trying to get that Def Leppard Pyromania / Hysteria sound. So it's way overproduced, very glossy plastic. It just doesn't have the grit of the first few and the first 2 in the EP. That's all there is to it. The songs are still there. It's just really glossy.
Yeah, because I think Michael Wagner produced the first ones, but I'll tell you the truth, I liked Bo's production on this. I really did. I like all that slick, glossy stuff that they did. So to me, City to City was a minor hit. I Want a Woman was a big hit. Way Cool Jr. was a big hit. And then there's a bunch of other songs on here that are all good. But this one may be the one I reach for absolutely the least, but I like it better than the other 2 that I've shown so far. And then moving up to number 5 on my list.
Go for it.
Man, I've never seen that before in my life.
So this is a good album, and
what's it called?
Infestation. Came out
Infestation.
Came out in 2010. Infestation. Yep. On Roadrunner.
This was a return to their sound of the EP and the first 2 albums. They a little beefier, just production wise, only because it was 20 years later, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So who's on that record? Same.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same guys.
Yeah, there might be. I can't remember now. There might have been one different person. Now I can't remember who it was though.
Because didn't Stephen Pearcy leave at one point in time and do his own thing? It was Stephen Pearcy's.
He did Arcade.
Oh
yeah.
Have they ever done? Is there a RATT album out there that doesn't have Stephen Pearcy on it? Because someone in the comment said without Stephen Pearcy, it's not RATT.
So it's still Bobby Blotzer, Carlos Cavazos.
Oh well, that's an able-body replacement.
Yeah, Stephen Pearcy, Robbie Crane on bass, and Warren DeMartini on guitar. I saw them on this tour. They did a great job. Eat Me Up Alive might be the heaviest RATT song there is.
That's a heavy lineup, though. Yeah,
Best of Me is good. This has got a lot of great stuff on it. And the last song, to me, Don't Let Go, man, I don't know if it's a top 10 RATT song because I think they've got so many great songs. But I wouldn't fight somebody that put that song in the top 10. I absolutely love that song. Do not sleep on Infestation. This is a fantastic record.
But whoever the graphic designer was needs to have his ass kicked, though. Look at this. Go ahead. Yeah. Read the song titles.
I know.
Where is he? I'll help you. I'll hold him and you hit him.
I hate unreadable crap like that. All right, I get it on the cover. It's got the same thing with the logo, with the name up here, Infestation. It's on there like 30 times, like a Cheap Trick logo, but unreadable. But that's the title of the cover. You know what the title is. That's stupid. You can't read a damn song on there.
And the graphic designers go to war.
We're getting a lot of Beavis and Butthead love out there. About
oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the comments.
Well, I am because I am not adept at RATT, as you can tell by my shirt. You see what I did there, right?
Well, thank you for. All right. So what's next up for you, Scott? This is my number 4, and this is where I'm probably going to be fired from my own show. That's
right. Just keep going, man. It's. We'll just do your list. I'm talking about him.
No.
That is the 4th best RATT album.
To me, that would be the 2nd best RATT album.
Correct. That would be the 2nd best RATT album.
And you're saying the EP is the best?
The EP is the best.
Okay. quintessential Rat, number one Rat album, I'm sure. But when I'm talking about the best, we're talking about my favorite. This had all the songs, all the hits. It put them on the map. So I get all that. I totally get it, man. And I know you guys are going to hurt me when you see my top three, but I love this. I rarely listen to it.
Glenn Rogers is going to fight you in the parking lot. He agrees with Scott.
two
He
of us,
says the
yep.
EP is the best. Well, I forgot about the EP. Remember, I
love
forgot
you,
about
Glenn.
the EP. To me, it's like a demo. So
I'm sorry about your Rams, by the way. I'm paying attention to the Rams this year because I'm afraid we're going to have to face them in the end. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, this has got some vicious metal stuff on there, some great guitar playing, and then of course you've got the huge hit "Round and Round," which was given a big boost from MTV at the time, and that I still think that video was fun. I mean, it looks ridiculous looking back at it now, but back in 82, 83 when this came out, that video was cool.
Yeah. Well, and there's not a clunker on there. I mean, Wanted Man, You're in Trouble, Round and Round, In Your Direction, She Wants Money. I mean, it just keeps going. Lack of communication, Back for More. I mean,
lack of communication. Lack of communication is just a riff heavy track. I love that song, and Back for More is off the EP, so that's great too. But and then this was produced by Beau Hill as well. It's just got a more meaty production than the stuff he did later on.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that Bo did this one. I thought Michael Wagner did this.
He didn't strip the band of their rock and roll heavy metal roots on this one. It still has that gritty metal sound. So
I was incorrect. Well,
for me that would be number 2. So, but there's not a bad song on it. And when you said today, hey, we're going to talk about RATT, I went and I grabbed the EP and that Collage album. Those are the 3 I played because those are the ones I usually go for if I want to hear RATT. So.
Well, now, again, favorite versus best, we can always debate that. But my number 3 is, and you guys are starting to see how this is going to stack up, and Glenn Rogers may fly out here and hurt me. Number 3 for me is Invasion of Your Privacy. Now,
I'm not going to argue with you.
I put it at number 3 too.
So I think You're in Love is one of the best songs that they ever did. Lay It Down. There's so many great songs on here, but the reason that this is so high on my list is because when I saw them,
Tawny Katane.
No, that's not who's on there.
Oh,
that's who is on here.
Yes, it is, and that's also
it was one of the guy's girlfriends at the time.
Yep, it's on that. She's on that one too. So
hey, Rob, I got a question for you. A little bit of RATT trivia. What year was RATT actually formed?
I think 77.
I'm thinking it's 76, but you're pretty darn close. One of us is right. 76 according to Wikipedia. It's 76. So
okay,
they were formed as Mickey RATT in 76.
Oh, okay, yeah. The reason that this is my 3rd favorite and one that is still a huge go-to for me is because when I saw them for the first time at my very first concert, and this just happens to be a First Press Smooth case. How about that? They played a buttload of songs off of this record. And so I have that forever burned into my brain. And so that is my 3rd favorite RATT album.
Is that why they call it butt rock?
And we agreed on that one, right? As number 3?
No.
Well, Scott and I did.
Okay, yeah, you and Scott did.
Number 3 for me because the EP and Out of the Cellar is number 2.
Okay, now Scott, you may fly out with Glenn and hurt me. My 2nd favorite RATT album of all time.
Okay, no more grief about Tomb Mold, Cryptic Void, Nasm. I don't want to hear it.
I freaking love.
That's your 2nd favorite RATT
I
album.
love Detonator. I absolutely.
It's not one of these 2. It's Detonator.
Yeah, I love it that much. I really do. Oh wait, just wait. if you guys haven't figured out which one is number one, you're really gonna hurt me.
I'm
So I know
almost
that I'm upsetting the RATT purists. I
I,
get it.
I am almost afraid to even listen.
It's not that it's not bad. It's just not exactly a RATT to me because it was all the other albums. The band wrote their own songs. On that album, it was Bon Jovi and Desmond Child and some of the writers that were working with.
I don't even know that. So
some of the writers that were working with, Aerosmith and Kiss at the time, and Sony was pushing them, wanting hits. So Sony wasn't thinking that they could still produce the hits, so they were bringing in outside songwriters. Doesn't make it a bad album. I mean, I love Aerosmith and Kiss and stuff, so it's not like
I never knew any of that. So see, I'm learning right now, which is great. Obviously, you're the the RATT badass here, and I'm the one that chose the subject, which is
okay. And so speaking of learning, some Grego said weren't the Mickey RATT guys? Wasn't who was the guitarist? He's saying it's Jakey Lee.
Jakey Lee wasn't in the band early on. Didn't stay in the band very long.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if he was in Mickey RATT or the early version of RATT, but yes, he is correct.
Okay, cool. I love that guy. That guy plays. He's awesome. Badlands, whatever.
When this came out in 90, I think. I can't read that. Damn, I'm old.
Easy.
Oh, this is painful. 90. I needed something fresh from RATT, and when I heard this, I kind of waved it off, but then I went and bought the album, and it just exploded for me. I thought it was cooler, and now it makes sense with all the songwriters. I liked it. It worked for me. I didn't realize that they were not the writers. I didn't realize that outside guys were involved. But, man, I freaking love this record. And I have a very specific memory of being in the Air Force and driving across the bridge over Lake Worth in far west Fort Worth. And I Can't Wait on Love. Track 9 comes on, and I'm just losing it. Drums on the steering wheel, the whole deal. This album connected for me in a big way, and maybe because it was because of the fluffy songwriting. I don't know. I never knew that before until
Well, you said you waved it off, and I skipped mine across the driveway. I just thought, oh gosh, I can't.
I love it.
If I need fresh RATT, then I go right here.
Grego M said Desmond Child because you read it too many songs on Detonator.
He wrote too many?
Yes.
Okay, now here's what's really going to piss everybody off. But, Krista Buford, if you see this, I know that we are in agreement, and I believe that we are both right.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Yeah, number one. And it's by a country mile, in my opinion. Again, heavily influenced by the fact that this is the first concert I ever saw. They played a ton off the album, a ton of songs off the album. I absolutely love it. If I reach for a RATT CD, 90 times out of 100, it's going to start with this, and then it's going to be Invasion of Your Privacy, and then it's going to be that listening order. I freaking love this. And the band thinks it's a train wreck. I've heard them interviewed, and they talk about it. They're like, oh, it was terrible. It was pieced together. We were a mess by then, and blah, blah, blah. I love it. Krista, this is the best RATT album. Is Glenn fighting me yet?
Glenn said the first RATT EP and the first Great White go hand in hand.
He probably gave up and unsubscribed.
Let's hope not. We need all the help we can get.
Shame, Shame, Shame is a ZZ Top song?
Michael Schenker was on Detonator?
Huh. Anyway, that's my RATT opinion of albums in order. I freaking love RATT. I skipped Collage because it's up there in the pile, and I don't think we missed any albums. This also came out along the way, the 81-91, and it had Nobody Rides for Free, which I thought was an okay song. I bought it.
I'm looking at my own website because I forgot, but yeah, on Detonator, Crosby checked into rehab facility, and RATT continued on with Michael Schenker playing guitar.
What? I
Yeah.
did not know that.
There you go. You learn something new here on the Metal Roundtable every week.
And this is why it's supposed to be like dudes sitting around in a bar talking about their favorite music. We're not pretending to be experts here because obviously I'm not.
Okay, Gary I says Great White better than RATT.
I mean, no, not for me.
Considering the whole catalog, no, I don't think so. But okay, Scott, you and I, we need to have a Great White showdown. I've had this on my radar almost since the beginning of the show because I have Great White opinions, and I would love to know yours. But we'll get into Great White at another time. But
it doesn't involve pyrotechnics in a small club, does it?
I bought this because I'm a completist. It had one new song on it. But if you need to introduce yourself to RATT, this is a beautiful way to do it.
I went to pull out all my CDs and I didn't have that. And I was like, damn, I thought I had it, but I guess I didn't.
I probably have it in my inventory somewhere. If I do,
I think I might even have it on tape, Scott. If you want a tape?
I've got tapes. I like tapes.
Okay.
I also like tapes, but anyway, that's another thing we'll get into later. But all right, well, that wraps it up for me, boys.
Sorry, I wasn't much help.
Sure you were.
Yeah, you did great. You did great.
I'll be about the same when we start talking about Great
number
White.
One.
Okay, yeah.
I have that as number 3, but I agree that I mean, these are the top 3. Scott, yours, and these two right here. Out of the Cellar, Invasion of Your Privacy.
Total look almost like Aerosmith at the time.
Yep.
They look like Aerosmith and Motley Crue had a baby.
So Scott, run yours down real quick. Just boom, boom, boom. One to the bottom of the list.
Oh, they're all out of order now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I had them all in order, but now I got them all tore apart. So, but yeah, the first one is definitely the EP. Out of the first 3 albums they put out are my top 3.
Okay,
there you go.
Bingo.
I agree.
I was so entrenched in that 80s glossy sound that I think that's just they hit my wheelhouse from 86 to 90, and that's just the stuff I loved.
Here's another haymaker. Twisted Sister blew right off the stage in the early 80s.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Twisted Sister were a machine on the stage.
Oh my gosh, that's another.
Now, if you ask me which one I like better, I would take Twisted Sister over RATT, just based on the first 2 Twisted Sister albums alone.
Come on, Scott, you just can't stand rock and roll.
Yeah, see, and I'm just the hair glam metal guy. I would go RATT, Great White, Twisted Sister. But to go see live, Twisted Sister will mop the floor with anybody.
Yeah, seen them live several times.
Well, let's pack it in for episode 113. What do you say? I think I've completely shot the wheels off the show and lost every bit of credibility that I might or might not have had.
Not really. I mean,
might or might not.
I may or may not have had any credibility ever.
Oh, well,
we're all good, man. I mean, none of these RATT albums are bad. They don't really have a really bad album. It's not like there's no Saint Anger in this pile, in my opinion. So,
okay, let's be honest. Lulu's way worse than Saint Anger.
Lulu, yeah, I just pretend it doesn't exist.
Kevin Whistler did you guys talk about Kevin Whistler?
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but I got distracted. But yeah,
we got sidetracked.
Kevin Whistler died this past week. Lost his battle with cancer, got COVID, and that took him out the rest of the way. Kevin Whistler was the drummer for Bloodgood.
Okay. Yes. I did see a post about that.
Yeah, that stinks.
I felt bad because I didn't recognize the name. I guess he was in the group later.
He was on like if I'm not remembering incorrectly, he was on either the second or third album, then several after that.
The only one that I ever met way back in the day was Paul Rohrbach. He played on some of their 90s, early to mid 90s albums, I think. He's the only one I knew. So the name did not ring a bell, but yes, we are sorry to hear of the passing of
Kevin Whistler.
Yeah, I agree. Glenn Twisted Sister was not a hair metal band. At least they didn't start off that way.
Yeah. All right, boys.
That's it.
Parting shots.
Oh, thanks for including me. Even though you didn't ask me what my top 3 was: Napalm Death, Insect Warfare. Oh, wait, we were talking about RATT.
Right, we were talking about RATT.
Ostrich Tentacles.
Damn it. We almost made it without a
got it in there.
Ostrich testicles reference.
I'm telling you, let it flow over you and within
Let it
you.
waft throughout the room.
That's right.
All right, boys. Well,
yeah.
A very, very, very special shout out to Monkey Butt.
Yes.
We love you very much. We will be thinking about you. If there's anything that you need from the 3 of us, I know you're sitting there in the studio, but you know that we would do our best to help you as much as we could from Texas and New Mexico. So we will keep you guys posted. Like I said, as much as Monkey Butt wants to share or come on the show, certainly he can do that, and we'll let you know. So with that, for episode 113, on behalf of the Metal Roundtable, I am Metal Rob, along with Carcass John, who you can reach at Carcass John Hart on Instagram. Scott Waters, you can find him by searching his name on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob, and we will see you next Tuesday at 5. But until then,
Metal
will
prevail. Hail the Monkey Butt.
Yeah, boy.